Blah. Y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yako, what it do? Episode 27, The Outlet to Reality, the hardest podcast in Vegas and Chicago, with my co-host Hami Arain. This is the place where you want to hide from your drama, maybe hide from your baby mama. I'm just kidding. But I want to thank my fans for listening, sharing, liking, and commenting. And don't forget to subscribe. Cha-ching! And today we have a special guest. This man's going to shock your world. His name is Pacco, who was the former head compensation protection appellate to the LA County of Immigration Affairs, former Mexican ambassador of the General Assembly. Currently, he works as the International Public Affairs Analyst of Mexico. What's up, brother? How you doing? Hey.
That's big stuff. That's big stuff.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I really appreciate the space. And how are you guys? Thank you for having me again. Well, here we go.
Yeah, man. Well, we're doing good, brother. Before we get started, for those who don't know, Paco's actually my cousin. I found out like probably 5 years ago that this is my blood, from my dad's side. And he actually came to Chicago when we first met, and we went to this concert. It was at the Aragon, for those who live in Chicago, one of the biggest concerts. And the artist that was performing was extreme. Was famous bachatero, bachata.
Yeah.
Like growing up, that was our biggest.
That's nice.
Yeah, real nice, and it was like a big deal. So me and Paco, we went, and this is funny. This is during Halloween, and we forgot to dress up. So everybody dressed up, and there was girls looking cute with their bunny outfit. They were asking us, "So what's your costume?" And we said, I'm actually not sure. You know what I'm saying? To be honest.
Just like that,
Yeah, that's it. And it's funny because when we went to the concert, the singer Extreme, that's his name, he sang so bad. Like, I now realize that every artist that you believe that could sing.
We couldn't believe it. I mean, we were shocked. Like, oh my God, this is for real? I mean,
Very disappointing. Yeah, I've been to a couple concerts, a couple shows like that, where it's just someone. It's just like not. It's just like I'd rather just listen to the studio version, and we can be in the same room or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And Paco, what do you remember from that day?
Well, I remember we were having dinner in your house.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I remember. And after that, you only told me, you know what? I have some tickets for going to some club, and this is a surprise, man, but you will love it and everything. And I was really excited, right? Because I was like, oh my God, this is going to be the big deal. We are here in Chicago, and the season, my first time in the Windy City and everything. Okay, let's do it. But I didn't know that we were going to go to that concert or to see this guy. And I just remember that the first thing that I realized and I noticed about that event, it was that maybe we were the older people there, right? Because we saw these little girls and everything, really cute girls, if I could say. But the first thing, it was like really amazing because it was my first concert there in Chicago, and actually, I could say that my first event there in the U.S., because right now I'm here in Puebla, you know that. But I was really excited, man, and we were planning to rock that night, but we didn't know that the cold, it was going to be a factor, like it would be.
I was going to ask you, was it a warmer Halloween or a colder? Because you're saying bunny suits, Halloween, and I'm like,
Halloween. Yeah.
Because next week is going to be a cold Halloween. That's for sure. Anyone who's in Chicago right now, it started getting cold this week.
And that was the thing, because we were just wearing, a casual shirt and everything, because we felt like, like the man.
Just a jacket and shirtless, yeah.
Yeah. So the first thing, we were waiting in the line, and we were like, "Oh my God, it's freezing!" But
getting on the train before going in.
Yeah, I can say it was a really good experience. But first of all, as I say, like, you know, it was my first like concert in the US. Not my first band, but it was like the first one. And to be honest, that artist is kind of very famous in Latin America. So it was a big deal because, I can say that he's really famous in Latin America. I'm not sure in Mexico, but Latin America, yes. So it was really cool for me, you know, to have that experience, and of course with David.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Now, quick question, Paco. What is your degree that you study in college, and what got you to start politics?
Well, my degree is in international relations. That is, I mean, the roots is politics, of course, because international relations, it's a field where you study the spheres of politics, economy, law, journalism, sometimes sociology. I mean, you can find a lot of spheres and subjects, right? But I didn't study politics. I got involved into politics because I really love them. I mean, if you can go, or if you want to go to my Instagram profile, you can see that I say politician by nature, but diplomat for compromise, right? So it's really different because I really love politics, but I study international relations because I had the dream since very young to be part of the foreign service of Mexico, to represent my country in different forums, multiculturals, multilaterals, of course, the embassies and the general consulates in all the world, right? That's why I decided to study it. I studied at the Autonomous University of Puebla here in Mexico, but I have some studies in New York. I have some studies at Columbia University, and some studies, like very short studies if we talk about time, but at SDSU in San Diego and UCLA in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, what were some of the things that, like, I guess your experience in each of those cities, those three, really like the three biggest cities in the United States,
Yeah.
you know, what was something that, like, I guess some of the differences that you noticed as an outsider, you know, coming into the United States, and also, I guess also like maybe even some similarities, even if it's like, you know, even if it's something basic,
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Mexico and California, or even Mexico and New York or something like that.
Yeah. Well, my first place that I visited as a foreigner, as you say, as a Mexican, in the U.S., it was San Diego, because we have family there. I mean, I try to be something funny with my comments because, well, you know, we all Mexicans have family around all the U.S. That's for
Right.
sure. Everybody knows it, right? So, yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's the reality. So the first place that I've been, it was in San Diego with one of our uncles who lives there, and it was like the first phase that I saw of the U.S. right for me. So San Diego is a really good place, but I cannot say that it's like my favorite one, not because it's not a good place, but Jacob or David knows that my favorite place, it was New York. Why New York? Because you can find in New York, well, it's the big city, right? It's the city, it's the Big Apple. So I don't know anyone who doesn't love New York because it's a big city, right? You can find
Right.
a lot of things there. I mean, it's a diplomat place, it's a financial place, it's a fashion place. I mean, you can find everything you want right now. I'm not sure, and I can say this as say hi to my dog that is right now here. It's Benji. Um, you can find everything there, and I can tell you something. I mean, you can find some of the best colleges in the world. you can find the financial district, you can find, of course, the UN and all the organisms, right? All the organizations, because it's of course, the General Assembly, but you can find UNICEF, you can find UNDP. It's a big place, of course, and I know people who always is telling me like, why do you like New York? I mean, it's a really dirty place, and a lot of people and noise. Well, good morning, wake up. Of course, because it's a big city. I mean, if you come to Mexico City, you will see the same thing because you are talking about a really big city, right? So I don't know if you can say right now that it's the capital of the world, because you can find more than 4 capitals of the world right now. If we talk about Tokyo, if we talk about London, we talk about Shanghai. There are more than 3, 4, or maybe 5 capitals of the world. But I'm pretty sure that New York has this place like forever, right? Because it's like the city. So I really love New York because it was my first chance to get involved into international affairs and to the big leagues. Because, I mean, as an internationalist, as a diplomat, as international affairs analyst, of course, the big league, like the NFL or NBA for diplomats, is the UN. So where do you can find the UN in the world? Or in 3 places: Switzerland, New York, and Nairobi. But guess what? The most important of those ones is in New York. So that's why I really love New York, and it was a place where I made a lot of friends, good friends that I keep being in touch with them, from India, from Pakistan, from Spain, from Lebanon, from France, from Belgium, a lot of places, right? You can find them. The second place, it was, of course, Chicago, because my aunt invited me after being in New York like for more than 2 years, almost 2 years and 6 months. And I went there and I was really excited, man, because I always wanted to go to Chicago. And I had the chance to go and, on autumn and winter, and it's completely different than summer, right? So the first thing that I saw in Chicago is the difference between New York and Chicago. If we talk about fashion and if we talk about politics, right? Because if you walk, in Manhattan, maybe Bronx, Brooklyn, or any one of the boroughs, you can see like people, like different kind of people, but they are always like wearing like nice suits, right? Nice clothes. Mm-hmm. And you can find, I'm not saying that you cannot find that thing in Chicago, but I realized that you guys love sports a lot. I mean, I don't know, but that's my version, my point, that I saw more like Irish pubs, more sport bars, more people wearing the Blackhawks jerseys.
Right, Blackhawks,
Chicago Cubs jerseys, that you can find those people wearing that in New York. And I'm not saying that the Yankees are not a good team, but if you see the career of the Knicks or the other
miserable, unfortunate career, the Knicks.
I know. It's a big city, but that city only has the New York Yankees, and that's it, right? Period.
Right. The Nets might go back to the finals. We'll see. Brooklyn.
Yeah. I know. So I saw in Chicago this love for the sports. I'm not sure if I'm right.
No, you are completely, you're 100% right, because huge sports city. We have like 5 teams or something. We have like 6 teams. If you count the MLS team, we got like 6 teams. So we have a huge sports city.
I can say that I'm a Blackhawk fan, all right? So I really appreciate it. I have my hat actually, but I didn't bring it for this interview. But I am a huge fan of the Blackhawks of Chicago, and of course it's a nice city, less population, of course, but it's a really nice place. And Jacob can tell you that I wanted actually to study another degree in the U.S. and when I visited Chicago, I was like really in love of the city, and I wanted to study law at University of Chicago, maybe at Loyola School, but I couldn't, you know, times or and the season and the opportunities. It wasn't the best ones for me in that moment. But if I had the chance, of course, I would love to go to Chicago again. And of course, if we talk about LA, man, it's a different world completely. I mean,
you don't have to worry about the weather. Well, I guess I feel like that would drive you insane, right?
Well, yeah, of course.
After like a certain time, after like 3 straight months of just sunny.
Yeah,
you know,
it is sunny all the time.
Maybe
I mean,
a couple storms here and there, but
yeah, of course. I really love the sunny days, but I hate the heat. I mean, it's you can wake up someday to I don't know like 100 degrees, maybe other days 110 degrees, other days maybe 98 degrees. So it's a really hot place.
yeah.
And well, the first thing that you can realize is the difference, of course, geographically, right? Because East Coast and West Coast, well, we're talking about geographic, it's completely different. But the other thing is the lifestyle. I mean, you can find more chilly people, you know. They love sports, but they are more involved into baseball and basketball because the Ram sucks, right?
Right.
So it is completely, and that's it. So you can find really good universities too. I mean, in California, you can find Stanford, right? UCLA is the best public university in the country. At least it's the information that I have. You have the USD University, the Trojans, and this how to explain this fight between the UCLA and the SD and the I say the university
USC.
USC and
USC,
UCLA.
Southern California versus UCLA,
Yeah,
right.
They have this fight like forever, right? Who is the best and everything. But it's a big city too. It's a very expensive city too. I mean, I could understand that it's a myth that New York is like the most expensive city in the U.S. Because man, if you go to LA and you live more than 1 year, you can realize that it's a really, really expensive city too.
West Coast, really, very expensive.
Yeah, it's. I mean, California, it's a state. Well, you know, it's a completely different world. California, if we talk about that, we all the foreigners have the idea of the U.S. and we think, first of all, you know, New York, Chicago, Boston. Right. We always think about the East Side, but the
especially
West
New York.
Side,
New York is like that place.
Yeah,
and and like LA is like, you know, LA is, it's like you know, it's there, right? And but people also think about Texas too.
Of course,
no one thinks about fucking,
like
you know, St. Louis, Missouri, you know, like.
Yeah, I agree. It's like the people that wants to come to Mexico and they think, oh my God, I've been in Mexico. Where you been? I mean, in Cancun, and it's like, oh my God, well, Mexico is not Cancun, right?
Right.
But that's the same thing. If a Mexican thinks about U.S., they think about New York. Not all the country, right? That's the thing. Yeah.
Like there's I think there's a famous I'm trying to think. There was something that I had in my head where Paco, I don't know if I'm right, but when you went to Chicago, was that the first time you saw snow?
Yeah, it was the first time. Yeah, I have the video, man.
Oh, for real?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, for real.
We should post that video on the onto the video, onto this video.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
put it
Actually,
maybe in the beginning or at the end or something like that. Just like just
yeah,
no context. Maybe
it's on my
put it in the end as a
Instagram.
credits.
Right?
Yeah, yeah. It was really funny because I was really excited to see snow for the first time in New York, but I couldn't, and I went to Chicago before I come back to Mexico in that season, and I
Wait, so
saw
how long were you in New York? Like how long did you live in New York?
almost 3 years, man.
3 years and no snow?
Almost 3 years. No,
Almost.
going back, going.
Oh, okay,
Going there,
gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. Not like.
Were you ever
All the
there
time.
during hurricane season?
Yeah, of course, but it was in my second time because I have 4 times living in New York. So the first time it was when I went to Chicago.
Oh,
So
perfect.
the other 3 ones, of course, I saw the snow again, but it was not like the big deal, right? Because I already I already saw the snow in Chicago. So yeah.
Wow. You know, it's crazy. Like Scarface is my favorite movie of all time. Tony Montana, and he told this is. I just thought of it because we're talking about cities. He
Yeah.
said, "Hey Frank, this is what we gotta do, man. We gotta go and expand. Okay, Frank. We gotta go to Chicago, New York, and California. If we go all the way there, we're gonna make money. Okay." And I never forget that. And look what happened. Paco went all the 3 spots. He went New York, Chicago, California. He
So
did
I'm the new Scarface, man.
it. There you go. Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing you've been to like other places, but you're talking, very obviously very positively of New York and stuff like that. Have you ever been to like places? What about like Boston or like DC?
No, I have not had the chance to go to those places. Of course, I would love to go to DC because I mean it's the capital, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and Boston. Well, I wanted to go to Boston because I still have, but I had the dream to study at Harvard. I didn't have the
Mhm.
chance, but I had the chance to study at Columbia. So I can say that I had the pleasure to be in touch
It
with the
evened out,
academy,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's not that's like no slouch either.
No,
Not at all.
no. Yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah.
I mean, like I only mentioned Boston as a random example. I don't think I've been to Massachusetts either. And the only reason why I'd go to Massachusetts is to see the Basketball Hall of Fame or something. That's pretty much
Of
it.
course.
Maybe a
Yeah, of
Celtics
course.
game or something because the Celtics are like NBA history, but that's
Yeah,
it.
but now you can go to LA because the Lakers now they
That's
have the
right.
17 rings too.
Well,
So
it's 12 in LA, but yes,
yeah, I know,
technically they got 17, and they also had that one from like 1946 or whatever. So 18 rings. They're better than the Celtics. All right.
yeah,
I like that.
I
I
know.
like
But
The other five,
actually, I
yeah,
would go to. I've always wanted to go to the LA, the Clippers game because I know it's a little bit cheaper and it'd be like affordable, and
yeah,
that's a pretty decent team too. I guess now.
yeah.
That's crazy. Well, Paco, I was going to ask you a question because here in America, we don't really get news in Mexico. Like, we don't really know the politics, like, because we're not there, right? We're only
Yeah.
here. So, one of my biggest things that I want to talk to you about is that when the pandemic happened, right,
Yeah.
all over the world, there was a clip of Mexicans president. He's like sitting down in a table and he's saying that he doesn't want to close the economy. I mean, yeah, he doesn't want to close the economy. He want to keep it open. And I know a lot of people were very negative towards the president. And maybe you can explain what he was trying to say. And if you think he did a good, was that a good idea? His decision.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I would say that until now, I have not read about one president in the world that took the decision to close the economy in their countries. I mean, first of all, there's no president that have had, like take that decision. So if we talk about Andrés Manuel López Obrador, that is the president of Mexico right now, of course, we can say that, I mean, I have to be honest, objective, and of course, neutral, right? because if you want to analyze and to study the politics and the intern policy and the foreign policy of some president, you have to be honest and not to have, like an inclination or to favoritism to some parties, So if we talk about Andrés Manuel López Obrador, we have to know that, first of all, he is the first and officially the first president of Mexico that is part of the left party. All right? We have never have a president from the left party. That's the first thing. So it changed a lot, of course, the policy, right? In all the spheres, it's completely different.
Yeah.
And the first thing that I can say is that Andrés Manuel López Obrador, well, we can understand Andrés Manuel López Obrador if we start, knowing that he has a fight in social spheres. He's always fighting. I mean, I'm not agree in a lot of things that he always says, or maybe the decisions that he takes. But in this case, about to close the economy, I mean, I think it is a good reason to keep the money, running, and to keep the economy running, because picture this. Of course, the pandemic is the priority for all the governments right now, okay? Yep. We can talk about...
Well, not all.
Yeah, that's the first thing. I mean,
we got an election to get through first, mister.
Yeah, so, first of all, I would say that I don't know any president that is thinking about other thing than pandemics, right? The pandemic is the number one in the agenda of all the world. That's the first thing. Yeah. So, of course, you have to plan all the things. If we talk about, like money for health situations, for hospitals, for clinics, and everything. Yeah, that's right. But where you will get the money if you close the economy just because of the pandemics, right? Of the pandemic. You can close bars, you can close restaurants, maybe, yeah, because they are, places where you can get in contact with some people, maybe, that has the COVID-19. Yeah, that's true. But you cannot close all the economy, like products like vegetables, like, milk, like, maybe it sounds like a stereotype, but man, we are in Mexico. You cannot close places where they sell you tortillas, right? Because you need tortillas to survive here in Mexico. That's the thing. So you can do that like completely. I can tell you something. I was in California. I was living in LA when the pandemic started in the American continent. And I remember that California, with Governor Newsom, it was the first state that closed the borders, right? I remember that because President Trump wanted to keep going, right? Like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And Governor Newsom had a briefing, and he said, I mean, I don't care. I mean, maybe these are not the words, right? But he was like, I don't care the national politic. I just care about the millions and millions of people that I have here in California.
Yes,
right?
A very rational rational take.
It was really rational. And of course, and of course the mayor, Garcetti, that is a really good guy. I mean, I had a chance to know him because I actually have a recognition certificate of the LA City. And he was really, really, really good guy too, and he was like, you know what, I mean, we are going to close the restaurants, we're going to close everything, right? So Andrés Manuel López Obrador did the same thing, but he's not good to explain himself. So maybe sometimes you can read the declarations and you can read some things that he said, but sometimes he said these things like literally, and the people, and of course The press, the media, the news, they always try to change the words that he's trying to
Mix it,
explain,
yeah.
right? Yeah, they
So
try
like,
to mix the words.
is he kind of like, is he like a quiet guy or something like that?
He's not. He's not.
Okay,
He
right.
he has in Spanish they call mañaneras because he's briefing every day at 6 a.m., maybe sometimes 7 a.m., and he's always telling the nation what is going on, what his plans are, like what is he trying to do or something. And it's a really good idea. I mean, not if we are talking about media strategy, right? Because you're always watching him, and it's like, oh my god, another day watching him, right? But it's a
Yeah.
really, yeah. If we talk about media strategy, is not good. But if we talk about information, is a really good place, because sometimes you can see the Secretary of the State, briefing with him and saying something about foreign affairs, and you can see another day the president talking something about health with the Secretary of Health of Mexico. It's a really good reason. But going back to the start, um, I think that it was not a bad idea to close the economy, because I was telling Jacob this thing. Picture this. Maybe you stop the pandemic, right? But
Yeah.
now you will have hungry people, poor people, and everything, and that's worst. Because if you see the data and the information about deaths and people having COVID-19, you can see that it's less people than the people that is dying for years about hungry, about other disease, about the economy, right? So I think that no, I can't imagine a country who really could close the economy like completely, right? I mean, I think that's what I think.
That's good, man. And so I got a quick question because you said he's left. Is he like I'm not trying to be rude, but you know how we got Trump in the building and he's not in the building but in as president. He,
It's a building, yeah. It's
yeah.
the White House. It's
Right.
a building.
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
He's on the like technically he's Republican, but like is the president of Mexico like his ideas are they similar to like Trump like left?
Well, first of all, remember that being left and being populist is not the same, right?
Yeah.
So you can be left, but you cannot be populist at the same time, and you can be Democrat, or you can be right or moderate, and you still being a populist. So I don't think that the left side it's like like marriage with populism, but it's a different. I'm not sure if I can explain this with the same structure that you guys have in the US, because Latin America, is a completely different world.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, the left side is completely different to the left side in the US or maybe in Europe, in Africa. In Latin America, you have to understand one thing. The left is like, well, most of the people think is like the solution for the capitalism, right? So
Yeah.
the left party or the left parties in Latin America, they always are fighting to end with the capitalism structure.
Okay.
So Trump is not left as maybe we can understand in Latin America, because he's pro-capitalism, right?
Yeah.
So Andrés Manuel López Obrador, he has some decisions like pretty similar. If we talk about nationalism, that is different, you know.
Yeah.
To be a nationalist is not the same to be a left guy,
Okay.
right? So there's a difference between nationalism, patriotism, and of course to be left. That is not the same thing.
Right.
So here in Mexico, of course, you can see Andrés Manuel López Obrador say some things about to start buying Mexican products instead of American products. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or trying to start doing more things in favor to the indigenous people, you know, and everything. But it's not. It's completely different. But I can tell you something. The difference between Andrés Manuel López Obrador and Donald Trump is that Donald Trump won because of the electoral organism, right? Not because of the people, right?
Right.
And here in Mexico, Andrés Manuel López Obrador won because of the people, millions and millions, like Donald Trump, billions and billions and billions and billions, right? But millions, millions and millions of people went to vote for Andrés Manuel López Obrador.
Wow.
Because we don't have this electoral system to count, you know, like 55 votes for California. I don't care of how many people they are living, right?
Yeah.
So here in Mexico is one by one. So that's the difference. Trump won because of the electoral system of the U.S. and Andrés Manuel López Obrador won because the people really went to vote for him.
Yeah. Hey, brother, I'm just gonna thank you again. I'm gonna wrap it up because we only got 2 minutes left.
Cool.
So thank you, my fans, for listening. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, chink to the Outlet to Reality, the hardest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. Thank you, Hami Arain, for coming through, my co-host, and Paco. I love the stories, the politics. Like you shocked my world. This is better than history class. I got the best news I needed to hear, and we definitely gotta have you back, brother. And it's an honor for you to come to our episode.
Yeah, thanks for joining
Thank you
us.
guys. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course.